I do not believe that we must set up an organization that will not survive.
In the heart of Nigeria's industrial rise, one name has come to represent more than just cables. It speaks to vision, to nation building, to legacy. This is a story of vision meeting opportunity, a story where Nigerian ingenuity creates ripples across generations. This is Coleman's story.
Synchro system.
The year is 1975. Nigeria was riding the wave of an oil boom. The young nation was building itself, constructing the foundations of what would become Africa's largest economy. But beneath the surface of imported goods and foreign expertise lay an untapped opportunity, one that would require a different kind of vision to unlock. One man saw what others missed, an engineer by training but a nation builder by conviction. He looked beyond Nigeria's oil wealth to its industrial potential. While others were content importing solutions, he envisioned creating them right here at home. That man was Dr. Coleman Onafowokan.
I'm Asiwaju, Dr. Solomon Kayode Onafowokan, OON, founder and chairman of Coleman Wires and Cables. Well, it's a long story, but I'll make it as short as possible. I first started importing cables. I started the bigger cables, like the outboard cables, marine cables, instrument cables. And I was actually supplying to MPA, Nigerian Port Authority, then the Shell companies in Port Harcourt and Mobile oil companies also in Akwa Ibom. So this is how we started, and we believe, I then believe that it's a particular product that can actually translate to a bigger something tomorrow. Because by that time, we're talking about 1975, 76, 78, till about 1996, when we then translated into manufacturing at Idimo.
What began as a trading operation for electrical materials was always destined for more in its founder's mind. Coleman began humbly, not as a factory, but as a trading house focused on importing and distributing quality electrical materials across Nigeria. However, Dr. Onafowokan's ambitions stretched far beyond trading. For the first 2 decades, the company built its reputation on reliability and quality. Every imported product, every delivery made on time, and every satisfied customer became a building block in Coleman's foundation.
Yes, Coleman name itself, which is still very fascinating as far as I'm concerned. We picked up that name because we were then distributor of Coleman coolers at that time, and why did we then go into cables? Because we're then supplying cables to most of the major companies at that time, and also the oil companies. So we look at it that what would be the strategy? The strategy was to develop from trading to manufacturing, because that's what you can then say is sustainable in terms of, because as far as I'm concerned, I do not believe that we must set up an organization that will not survive you. And I've looked at so many of the Nigerian companies who definitely die with, their company die with them. And I detest that. I believe that we look at the history of people like Leventis, Mantlas, Shelarams, Shanral, a lot of them like that, who are actually being run at that time by second generation, and the third generation were already ready to take over from them. So that is what I believe should happen to us as a Nigerian. So that's why we then said, let's go into industry.
In 1998, from the dust of Idimu Road in Lagos, a factory rose. It could process 1,200 metric tons of copper and 800 of aluminium. Small by today's standards, but groundbreaking at the time. As Coleman grew, so did Dr. Onafowokan's family. His sons, George and Michael, witnessed firsthand their father's dedication to building something meaningful. The Coleman story is indeed about family, legacy, and preparing the next generation.
It is always good to have a vision of where you're going and where your problems are coming from and how to solve it. The biggest issue we all always have is how to have a vision that we're focused on and that we're disciplined enough to follow through. And the Coleman story is about those three words: vision, focus, discipline. But the most important aspect of those three words is discipline. You need to be disciplined enough to follow through your long-term strategy.
My name is Mrs. Grace Adefemi, the General Manager, Accounts, Coleman Wires and Cables. I've been working with Coleman for the past 38 years. Chairman is a visionary, and he sees a vision that which each and every one of us will pursue. Though we started as a trading company, he saw the vision that we can still strive in the cable industry, and he started it. And when the sons came, they pursued the vision, and that's where we are today.
Here goes. 1, 2, 3.
As Nigeria entered the new millennium, the demand for quality electrical cables surged. Coleman was perfectly positioned to meet this need. The early 2000s saw Coleman commission a state-of-the-art factory complex at Aripo, Ogun State. This was a statement about Coleman's commitment to Nigeria's industrial future. With enhanced production capabilities, Coleman began meeting more of Nigeria's growing appetite for high-quality cables while reducing the nation's dependency on imports. 2001 marked another pivotal moment in Coleman's history. Dr. Onafowokan began implementing a 24-year succession plan.
It's all strategically planned and believe because I needed it to survive me. And so I had to, at a particular time, I now had to appeal to both George and Mike to come and take over from me.
When I was offered to come to Coleman at the beginning by our chairman, I was working for ICI Crochems, a manufacturing plant in the UK, and I was doing quite well. And it held a lot of promise, but when he offered, there was nothing on ground. We had maybe one line, one extrusion line, one drawing line, and it looked very ominous when I came and looked at what was on ground. Everybody said, you're out of your mind. Why are you moving back to Nigeria? You're leaving a well-paying job to somewhere where there's so much uncertainty. When you're done with work, you're not going to have whatever it is that you're earning now there. So why would you do that? But to me, it was a leap of faith. In the background, I understood what I know and what value I hold, and I believe that the knowledge I had, if put to the right use, would deliver value, and that was what spurred me to join Coleman, and which I did.
A rare foresight in Nigerian business circles. By 2002, George Onafowokan stepped into the role of managing director and CEO, bringing fresh perspectives while honoring the company's founding principles. With the foundation firmly laid and the next generation taking the helm, Coleman was poised for unprecedented growth. The trading company that began in 1975 had transformed into a manufacturing powerhouse. Under George Onafowokan's leadership and with his brother Michael's engineering expertise, Coleman pioneered innovations that would position it as West Africa's leading cable manufacturer. The story of Coleman is pure proof that with clarity of purpose and steadfast dedication, a single vision can grow into a legacy that powers a nation.
I believe you can solve the problem because I know now you've seen the problems at Coleman, but I have no money to give you. And I'm thinking to myself, why would this man not want to fund a negative position? And I believe he had the money.
We had invested so much money in machinery and in infrastructure. The machines had arrived. I mean, this was borrowed money, and we were paying interest rates both on the dollar side and on the naira side. And we had these machines, we were looking at them. We were calling China, the engineer said, oh, no, come Nigeria, we can't come. Why can't you come? Oh, COVID. And they felt Africa was going to bear the full brunt of COVID at the time.
How did Coleman not just survive these trials, but emerge stronger? The answers lie in the decisions made when everything was on the line.